Hi, I'm Connor McClenahan at Here Counseling, and I want to talk to you about the 3 things you want to know before you start therapy. The first one is that your comfort talking with your therapist has everything to do with how much you're going to grow in therapy. Now, I know this sounds simple at the face of it, but a lot of times we actually prioritize the wrong things when we look for a therapist, and that can lead to some really frustrating results. For example, oftentimes people can prioritize the cost of the therapist or the experience of the therapist or even the training of the therapist. And they can prioritize those things above how it actually feels to talk with the person. Now, these things are important, the training, the experience, the level of education that they have, because a good therapist is going to want to be proficient at their craft. They're going to want to be well studied and trained so that they can be helpful to you. However, if we prioritize that over the actual trust that you feel with them, research shows that you're not going to have as strong results. If I was to choose for you what kind of therapist I would want you to have, I would want you to have somebody who you feel like you're in a trusting, open relationship with, where you feel you can share openly without being judged by them, or that you feel like a kind of a flow in conversation with them. That is what you want to look for, and prioritize that above the amount of years of training or experience or even cost that the therapist has. Research shows that you're going to end up with better results. Your anxiety is going to be reduced. Your depression is going to be reduced. Your connection as a couple is going to be strengthened depending on how safe you feel talking with your therapist. So here's a couple things to keep in mind. First of all, listen to video of the therapist, hear them talk, read over their copy on their website, see what sticks out to you, see if this is a person that feels like you could connect with. Also, pay attention intuitively, looking at their picture, to, is this a person I could sit down and talk with? Could I share with them? Do I feel safe with them? Those things are really important to consider when you're looking for a therapist, and it has everything to do with how much you're going to improve in the therapy. Okay, number 2, the second thing you want to look out for before you start therapy is, or the things you want to know, is that the alternatives to therapy are often much more expensive than therapy. Now, this sometimes when people go out and they start therapy, they can count out the costs and they can go, oh my gosh, this is going to take a lot of time or a lot of money, and it's going to take me a long time to heal. Now, what I want to help you do there is to compare that against the alternative. If you don't get help, if you actually don't get the right help, what's going to be the cost to you? And oftentimes we don't weigh this very well about the cost that we are incurring right now by being in the current state, mental health wise, that we are right now. So, for example, somebody who's depressed, they might not realize, because it's their daily experience and they've gotten used to what it feels like to be in their own body, they might not be realizing how much it's costing them to be depressed, how much it's costing them at their job, how much it's costing them if they own their own business, how much it's costing them in their relationship, how much it's costing them in their connection with their child, but also how much it costs for them to compensate for that pain in other less healthy ways. For example, a lot of times when people are depressed, they might drink more. And we know how much that incurs a cost on the body and our relationships. The alternatives that we have to actually dealing directly with our pain can be incredibly expensive. And so I want you to hold that contrast there about what it feels like to actually, maybe for the first time in your life, get the real help that's going to help you achieve something new in your life. What is going to be the benefit of that to you versus coping with it in the same ways? What's the cost over here of the coping with it in the same ways? This can be a helpful matrix or diagram to go through as you're seeking healing, because a lot of times, many people, they stop right there and they hesitate and they don't actually get the help they need because they're worried about what it's going to feel like, how much it's going to cost them in time and money to invest in the therapy that they need. Similar to a knee surgery, right? What's the cost of getting the knee surgery compared to the cost of not getting the knee surgery? That's a really important thing to know before you start therapy. Okay, third, it will be far more rewarding than you realize right now to be in therapy with a good therapist. Right now, a lot of what you're thinking about is to reduce the arguments with your spouse, or to reduce the anxiety, or to reduce the depression. That might be all you can see right now is the reduction of symptoms. I just want this pain to be over. But what you might not realize is what it'll feel like when you finally overcome that symptom, when you finally make a change in your life. Because therapy, good therapy, isn't just about reducing your symptoms. You might gain a capacity, an ability, a virtue, a part of yourself that maybe you've never had before. And that can be incredibly, incredibly rewarding. That pays dividends not only for you, but for your family, for your relationships, for your profession. There are all kinds of things that people end up experiencing in therapy where they grow into a new, more whole, connected version of themselves. It's much more than symptom reduction. At first, it can kind of all be about symptom reduction because that's all we can see at first. It's like we're so inflamed, it's hard to see past that. But as we get more into therapy, as we actually start to work through these things and receive care, there's so much that can shift and open up for you. That can be a rewarding experience that helps you in many ways that you can't anticipate. So I want to encourage you that finding the right therapist is incredibly important. It might be one of the most important steps that you take this year in your life. And we want to be partners on that journey with you. We honor and respect just how much energy and trust it takes to reach out for a therapist and to get help. And we want to be good partners to you on that journey. We have a care coordinator who can help you find the right therapist. A lot of people can get stuck where they don't know, which therapist to reach out to. And so they pause and they always deliberate and they don't feel like they have help to make that decision. We have a care coordinator who can help you find a therapist that will fit for you. That can sometimes be helpful for people. So please reach out, schedule a call with us, and we'll see you on that journey. Thank you.